Hi, everybody. Randy Wooden here, and I have a opportunity to talk with the newest author that I know in the entire world. Leslie Spies is a brand new author. The book is called Confessions of a Hot Mess: From Mess to Message. So we're going to talk to Leslie here a little bit and find out what prompted her to write the book, what you can learn from it, and so forth. But before we do, um, first, Leslie, tell me a little bit about you and your background.
Okay, sure. Well, my name is Leslie Spies. Right now, I'm overcoming laryngitis, so I sound a little bit raspy. I've lived in Winston-Salem, North Carolina for most of my life. My husband's name is Tracy, and we have four girls between us that are adultish. They're in their 20s.
Okay.
So three live locally, close to me. One lives in Oklahoma, and I have a new grandson who my chosen name is Grandma. I'm not sure what he's going to call me, but that's my
Uh,
plan.
is that like glamorous grandma? Is that how it is?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
So I've had a long career in the human resources field. And if that doesn't make you a hot mess, I don't know what does, because people kind of crazy. Currently, I'm an HR leader and consultant. And as you said, I just am getting ready to launch my book. It's Confessions of a Hot Mess: From Mess to Message, 90 Days of Messages for the Hot Mess in You. It's quite a mouthful.
It sure, and you sounds like you've had a lot going through your life with the four daughters and just the
Oh,
job
yes.
and everything else. So lots of stories to share. And I guess that kind of leads into the next thing about what inspired you to write the book in the first place.
Okay. Well, I was going through a difficult time in my life. So I had become an empty nester. Unbeknownst to me, they would come back. But, for those of you that are mothers, you know that you pour a lot of your heart and soul and energy into your kids. And when they become adultish, sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly what your purpose is. So I had that going. My daughter was in college. She was having some problems, pretty serious. Also was in a job that had a toxic culture. At least for me, it was a toxic culture.
Mhm.
My mind has always been pretty active and all over the place, but it really went into overdrive. And then, as I said, I wasn't really sure of my purpose for this season in life. So all of those things, kind of came together. I started praying and I started feeling a nudge towards writing. And I'd always written in my career, white papers and doing presentations and employee communications, and I enjoy it, but had never thought about writing a book. So I kind of asked God, I was like, are you sure about this? Because I'm kind of a mess. I worry, I compare, I control. I've got a crazy mind. I'm impatient. I really like wine. Sometimes I say bad words and I have an off color sense of humor. So I had lots of reasons why he wouldn't want me to do it, but I kept feeling that nudge. So with that, I went ahead and started with a blog because I didn't really know how to go about this. And eventually the blog became a book. So what I did was blog on some of the issues that I was suffering with, some of the categories that I mentioned already: comparison and controlling your thoughts and being impatient and all of those things. And over time, I had enough for 90 days of a book.
Well, yeah, and every journey starts with a first step. And so you didn't start out necessarily thinking, hey, I'm going to write a book, but you just started putting, if you will, pen to paper. And you all right, I did this one. Now I did another one and another one. And I know because you and I are Facebook friends, and have seen those passages that you've written over time. So I could tell your heart's in it, and it's impactful for you. Hey, let me ask you this. What do you feel like people can expect or get out of your book?
Um, well, as I mentioned, it's 90 days of lessons. So basically, it's on some of the categories that I've mentioned. And what you do is, you read a chapter. Usually it includes like a story, There's some humor in it. At least I think I'm funny. You may not, but you got to read it to find out. There's some biblical information and some scripture. And then typically there's a call to action. So if you buy the physical book, actually there's a section where you can write your reflections and kind of meditate on what you've done and what your next steps are. So that's basically how the book is structured.
I
And
like it, and from the standpoint that you can write down, as opposed to reading a book, let's say a devotional, where okay, here's today's message and what you should get from it, but there's no place to write anything down, your thoughts and reflections on what you had just read. So I like that you have the space to write, and I jotted down some of the not individual chapters, but you've got different sections of the book, and so. For people that are interested in saying, okay, well, how's this going to impact different parts of my life? You talk about care for yourself, care and love for others. You talk about caring for your mind, typical hot mess issues that are out there. And last but not least, toward the back of the book, you have a chapter that says, why can't people be more like dogs?
the world would be a better place.
And so you've got to buy the book to learn. But again, thank you, Leslie Spies, new author, Confessions of a Hot Mess, From Mess to Message. And as a guy, is this something, if people are looking at Christmas gifts, birthday gifts for their spouse or significant other, is this something that you think might be a good option?
Yes, I do. Of course I do.
Shocked, I would say that, but
I will say it's geared more towards women, but
okay.
there's plenty of men that are hot messes too. So, I think it's for men as well.
Yeah.
It can be for women of any age. And, guys, if you're giving it as a gift or something like that, you may just want to preface it a little bit to say, I'm not giving this to you because I think you're a hot mess, but I just think it may be helpful and an enjoyable read for you.
Well, and that's kind of what I was getting at is like if you bought your wife a cookbook, what I mean? It would be one of those, well, should I have done that or not? Again, the book is Confessions of a Hot Mess, From Mess to Message. My friend Leslie Spies. Leslie, thanks for joining us for just a few moments to share some thoughts about the book and what went on in creating the book in the first place. So how can they get it again? If people are interested in getting the book, how do they do this?
It is going to be released on November 18th. So it'll be available on Amazon and on my publisher's website, which is Kingdom Winds. I'm doing a online virtual book launch on the evening of November 18th. And I'm doing a book signing the afternoon, Sunday, the 21st. All of that information is on Facebook. I have a Hot Mess to Message Facebook page, and you can also follow me on my website, lesliespies.com.
Sounds good, Leslie. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to much success. And maybe, is it called a sequel, or is that in the movie lingo?
I don't know if I have enough material for Hot Mess 2. I kind of hope not, but I have started writing another book. So.
Mess 1. And again, Leslie, thank you, and best of luck with the book, and best of luck, and always great to talk to you.
All right.
Thank you,
Andy. Appreciate it. Oops.